I am John Davis Marshall, your lifestyle architect. Welcome to Wisdom to Wealth. To extend your experience with me, visit my website, www.johndavismarshall.com. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and help us to reach 1 million subscribers. Today and each Thursday, we explore finance matters. Pull up a chair, take a seat, enjoy the journey with us. Do you realize the Bible has much to say, or rather, God has said much about finances, and He's had it recorded within Scripture. He has said so much about finances. As a matter of fact, He may very well have spoken more about finances, and especially during the life of Jesus, than He does about faith and love and many other subjects put together. There is just so much said about our economical posture. As a matter of fact, God wanted us to experience and enjoy economic contentment. Economic contentment. Many people never enjoy that because they keep pursuing the ideology that I need more. When I was a child, there was a very wealthy lady that owned a considerable amount of land. It was reported that she had said that she wanted to own all of the land that was next to her land. Well, once she take ownership of the piece of property over, to apply that same principle, now she wants to take ownership of the piece of property on the other side of the piece of property that she has recently acquired. Some people thought she was saying she'd like to own the whole world. Whether that was her intentions or not, many people who knew her and knew of her would immediately say, she has enough. She has enough. But how much money is enough? People have a tendency to move the standard just beyond where they are. It was reported once that a preacher preached against owning 2 cars. Said he would regularly say, it's a shame. There are people out here with no car, and then some people have 2 cars. How sinful that is. The story is told that eventually he had 2 cars. People was waiting to see, what's he going to say now? The next time he mentioned resources, he said, it's a shame. There are some people out here with 3 cars, and other folk don't even have a car. See, he just moved the standard just beyond where he was. Don't be hypocritical like that. I'm not about to begin to try to answer the question for you. How much money is enough? Matter of fact, I don't think there's any amount that's enough. The issue is not how much you have. It's how well you use it. If you're using it for God's glory, the more you get, the greater His glory is radiated. But let's take a deep dive into this money proposition and see, what does God have to say about our economic standing. Hundreds of years ago, there was no money. People exchanged labor and or products to get the things that they wanted. If they wanted something, they exchanged another product or a period of labor. For example, a person might exchange a day of work for 10 pounds of ham. Now, before you think, ooh, that's a cheap day of labor, well, 10 pounds of ham could feed several people. But nevertheless, as an example, a person might exchange a day of work for 10 pounds of ham. Or a person might exchange 10 chickens for a pair of shoes. So, products and services served as the medium of exchange. When the people and the products were few, this barter system worked well. When we only had a few items, and most of the items that people were pursuing had to do with their day-to-day livelihood. So when the products were few and the people were few, this barter system worked very well. But as the population increased, as the products increased, this barter system became impractical, and society developed the monetary system because the products became too numerous and the people became too numerous, and the things that people were purchasing. Could you imagine if you were a pig farmer and you were going to Orlando, to Disneyland, and you'd have to carry a truckload of pigs so that when you needed some gasoline, you would trade a pig. Well, what happened if you needed $50 of fuel and the only pig you had was worth $100? Do you give the $50 away? Or what do you take in exchange for the $50 that the merchant would owe you? So when the people were few and the products were few, this barter system worked very well. But as the products grew, increased, and the people increased, this barter system became impractical, and a monetary system was created. Thus, money became a primary means of assigning economic value to goods and services. How much is a tank of gasoline worth? Now we realize it in terms of money. Is it worth 2 pigs? Is it worth 1 pig? Is it worth a 175-pound pig that's well? Or is it worth a 250-pound pig that might be sick? How much is it worth? So money became a primary means of assigning economic value to goods and services. If someone say, I'd like to have that car that you have, what will it cost me? Likely, you will tell them in dollars and cents. But then you might say, I'd like for you to cut my grass. What will it cost me? It's not likely to say 10 chickens and 2 pigs. It's going to give you a dollar amount. So money became a primary means of assigning economic value to goods and services. But it didn't stop there. Now notice, assigning economic value to goods and services. But also, money became a primary means of transferring economic value from one person to another. From one person to another. For example, if your child is headed back to college and they're going to need $400 worth of books, you can assign or you can transfer $400 into his or her bank account, into their Cash App account, give them your debit or credit card, or give them a check, or give them cash. But when you take the $400 out of your pocket, then and hand it to your child, then your financial worth has decreased by $400. But your child's financial worth has increased by $400. Why? Because you have transferred economic value from you to your child. And I know what people say, but he can't spend it on whatever he wants, etc. I understand that. But guess what? Have you ever thought how many children took money that their parents had given them for one purpose and spent it for another one? They shouldn't do that. If you're listening, please don't do that. But we're simply talking about the value that has been transferred. So your child returns to college worth $400 more than they were before you gave them the $400 for their books. If they choose to not go to college, to go off and have a good time, that value is with them. So money became a primary means of assigning economic value to goods and services, and then transferring that economic value from one person to another. And money became a primary means of transferring economic value from one place to another. See, your child is in South Carolina when you hand him or her the $400, but they attend college in Florida. So guess what? As your child travels, that $400 of economic value changes from county to county. So money became a primary means of assigning economic value from one person to another and transferring economic value from one place to another. It's a lot easier to put money on a debit card and travel with that than it is to carry a truckload of pigs that you have to barter away whenever you want to purchase something. So then economic value assignment and transference became the predominant purpose for money. Let me say that in reverse order. Money, what is money? What did money become? It became the predominant purpose for transferring economic value from one place to another and assigning economic value from one person to another. So what is money? Money is nothing more than a tool. And since it is a tool, you ought to learn how to use the tool. We'll talk more about that in the upcoming segments. It's going to be enriching. You don't want to miss it. Tell all of your friends. Give them the connecting information that you have used. And tell them that John Davis Marshall, the lifestyle architect, will be engaging from wisdom and wealth. And they and you can extend your experience with me. Visit my website, www.johndavismarshall.com. Like, share, and subscribe and help us to reach that 1 millionth subscriber. Today and every Thursday, we explore finance matters. Remember, money is nothing more than a tool. We'll talk about how to handle that tool efficiently in the upcoming segments. We look forward to seeing you. Be encouraged.